so how are things going, Char?
Good.
Good. I have a question for you. Do you know what an idiom is?
No.
You haven't talked about those at all in school?
No.
Okay, then this is going to be a perfect activity for you. Alright, so right here, this is my sheet, I have an idiom. It's kind of a weird looking word, isn't it? Okay, and right here is the definition. So, an idiom is a word or a group of words that have a different meaning. So here's an example, because that probably sounds a little confusing, doesn't it? Okay, so here's my example. It's raining cats and dogs. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Does it mean there's cats and dogs falling from the sky?
No.
No, definitely not. So this is something that somebody might say when it's raining like really, really hard outside. So they might say, wow, look at it, it's raining cats and dogs right now. Does that make sense? You don't know? Okay, so do you see what I mean when I say that it's a word that has a different meaning?
Yeah.
So there's not really cats and dogs falling from the sky, right?
No.
Okay. So we'll just keep this over here to think about. And now we're going to do our first activity. So here I have your sketch pad. You'll get to do lots of drawing because I know you like to draw.
What do I have to draw?
Well, you'll see. All right. And we'll come back to this example here. So what I want you to do is just draw a picture of it's raining cats and dogs. So what I want you to do is draw cats and dogs falling from the sky, like rain. Can you do that? It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just do a little sketch. Or do you want me to do it first? I'll do it for you. All right, so we'll use some blue for rain. Oh wait, no, because we're not doing rain, right? I almost forgot. All right, so here's a little cat. It probably won't look much like a cat. We'll do another one. How about a dog? And then, to make it look like it's raining cats and dogs, maybe we should draw an umbrella, don't you think? And then we'll draw a person holding the umbrella. So does that look like it's raining cats and dogs? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so are you ready to get started then?
I don't know.
I'll help you along, don't worry. Okay, so here's your first one. And it's hang on. Can you tell me what that means?
You're waiting.
You're right, that's exactly right. You're waiting. But what do you think that the actual word hang on means? Like, what can you hang on to? And it can be anything. There's not a wrong answer.
You could hang on to like a bar.
Okay, that's perfect. Why don't you draw a picture of that for me? Use whichever markers you want.
There.
Okay, what about someone hanging on to that?
don't know what I'm drawing.
Like a person's hand or something? Or maybe a person, right? Is that what you were thinking when you said you can hang on to a bar? Yeah, so draw that. Just draw a person hanging onto a bar. It doesn't have to be pretty. Remember, my drawing wasn't very nice. So like a head maybe, right? That looks good. Don't you think? You have the head, you have the arms, and you have the bar, right?
Yeah.
Alright, you ready to do the next one?
Sure.
Okay. So now we have a seat.
It means you're sitting down.
That's exactly what that idiom means. Have a seat, so sit down, right? And then for the actual meaning of have a seat, I could have a seat or you could have a seat, right? So that one's kind of hard to draw though, isn't it? All right, let's skip that one and move on to the next one for our drawing. How about that? Okay? So this one is driving me up the wall.
It means somebody's driving you crazy.
You're right, that's exactly right. All right, so what does this actually look like if someone's actually driving someone up the wall? Like what can you picture in your head when you see that?
There's a car driving on the wall.
All right, go ahead and draw that for me.
I don't really know how to draw a car at all, so.
Oh, this is kind of how I would draw a car. Kind of like that. Looks a lot like my umbrella, doesn't it? You can do like. Does that look better? Or does that look like a roller skate?
I don't know.
Just kind of try to draw something that looks sort of like a car. We know what it is. We know what you mean. Yep, you got your wheels. Perfect, that looks better than my car.
The cat broke.
Oh, that's okay. Can you help?
I think I
you're
put
on
mine
the
the
other
wrong
end.
way.
There you go. So that's kind of a silly picture, isn't it? A car driving up a wall. All right, that one was fun. We're gonna move to the next sheet so you have more room. All right, so the next one is bend over backwards. Can you draw a picture of what that might look like? It can be a stick person too.
It's like you're doing a back bend, maybe?
Yeah.
Destiny knows how to do back bends now.
She does?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
She's in
pretty-
cheer, so she kind of has to sometimes.
Oh, that's cool. Does she like doing that?
Mm.
Do you know how to do a back bend? Me neither. That's tricky.
Yeah. There. Yeah. Arms touching the ground.
All right, how about the legs? She gotta have some legs too, right? There you go, perfect. All right. The next one is fishy.
A fish.
All right, go ahead and draw a fish. It's a happy fish. All right, excellent. You're really good at this. All right, you ready for the next one? Knocked my socks off.
it means somebody make you laugh and something was really funny.
Not quite, but let's talk about what it actually means. Like you knocked your socks off. What does that look like?
You wouldn't have any socks.
Yep, a person without socks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So draw a person without socks for me. Alright, so no socks on that person, right? Alright. Now we're on to the next one. This one's kind of fun. You're pulling my leg. So what would that look like? If you were pulling my leg.
a leg?
Yeah, like yanking on someone's leg, right? Okay, go ahead and draw a picture of that. I know, it might be kind of tricky.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You're a better artist than I am.
We had art Friday in school.
You did?
Yeah, we have it every Friday.
Do you do a lot of drawing in art?
Yeah, right now we're drawing, we're painting, and we just finished last week our Statue of Liberty for the Veterans Program.
Cool. That's pretty cool. And everyone's doing a Statue of Liberty, or just
Everybody is.
Cool.
For 3rd grade.
Hopefully I can see yours. You ready for the next one?
Yeah. We're drawing like fireworks in the background.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Like
I bet
4th of
those are
July.
fun to draw.
Yeah.
Lots of colors, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how about this one? Horsing around.
I mean, you're like fighting
Yeah, that could
or
be the
messing
meaning.
around.
Yep, that's the alternate meaning. So the other meaning besides horsing around. So what would horsing around look like? Maybe horses?
Horses running around.
Yeah, yeah. So why don't you draw those? You can just draw one horse.
Yeah.
Because those might take a long time, right? You're good at drawing horses.
I don't know how.
Alright, this one should be pretty fun too. Cat out of the bag. So what would that look like? A cat out of the
A
bag.
cat that's not in a bag.
Alright, go ahead and draw that. That's a really good bag too. Alright, you're doing good at this, Char. Alright, how about this one? Play it by ear.
I don't know.
Let's see, let's think about it. Play it by ear. So it's talking about our ears, right? So maybe play with it by our ears.
Yeah.
So playing by your ears. So maybe draw an ear and then a person playing by it. perfect color for a year too. Don't you think?
I'm just picking random colors.
Alright, good. Now we're on to the next one. That one was a tricky one too.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, this one might be tricky. Give it a shot. Think about someone giving a shot.
Like a doctor giving somebody a shot.
Yeah, perfect. Go ahead and draw that. Have you had to get shots for
Mm-mm.
school? No? Alright. Do you think you need more space?
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I'll show it to you, and if you think you need more space, let me know, and we'll flip the page, okay? Piece of cake. What does a piece of cake look like?
A piece of cake.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and draw that.
A piece of cake looks like a piece of cake.
Yep, that's exactly right.
It looks like pizza.
What kind of cake are you gonna draw?
Chocolate.
Alright. Delicious.
Chocolate cake.
Alright. This one's gonna be really tricky to draw. Let's see. Slipped my mind. What might that mean?
Maybe someone like slipped on their mind.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I'm not gonna have you draw this one because this one's a little tricky to draw, don't you think? Because what does a mind look like?
Your brain.
Well, if you want to draw that, you can.
No.
Okay. Alright, how about this one? In hot water.
Somebody's in hot water.
Yep. How about some steam in the water so you can tell it's hot? There you go. Perfect.
They look like threes.
That's okay.
That one is a three.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, so this one is second thoughts.
You think two times?
Yeah. So how do you think you would draw that? What would that look like?
Two people thinking?
Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Maybe to make them look like they're thinking, you can do one of those little bubbles that has like question marks in it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like this. See?
Yeah.
That looks like they're thinking, right? Perfect. Alright, and here, looks like you're running out of room. We'll move to the next page. Alright, and then this one, out of the blue.
Like you're out of the blue water?
Yeah? Go ahead and draw that. Perfect. We're almost done with these ones, and then we'll move on to the next activity, okay?
Okay.
And then this one is all ears. So what would that look like?
A bunch of ears.
Yep. Green ears. Those are gonna look silly. Alright. And the next one is in the same boat.
Two people in the same boat?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You could even use your water from before. Don't you think? Okay. And our next one. See eye to eye.
Two eyes?
Mm-hmm. Sure, go ahead and draw that. Like two eyes looking at each other, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Alright, and then our last one.
Mad eyes.
Now you're getting creative. So this one is call it a day. This one might be hard to draw, but like what might that mean?
Like it's the end of a day?
Yeah. What else? Like, how about if I said, that's a day? Because I'm calling something a day, right?
Like saying it's the end of a day?
That's kind of. It's a little different than that though. Call it a day. So like I call you Charlie. Call it a Charlie. Charlie, I'm gonna call this pen a day. It's a day. That's what those words really mean, right? Alright, so now what we drew here were not idioms. We drew what they actually mean, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out what the idioms are referring to instead of what they actually mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, right now what we did was, for the first one we did, it's raining cats and dogs. So that one we drew cats and dogs coming from the sky and onto an umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what this really would mean would be lots and lots of rain falling from the sky.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're going to do with the rest of them, okay? But I'll show you. And I won't need you to draw anymore, but we're going to look at some of your drawings while we look at the phrases, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so here's the first one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you a little story that has the idiom in it, and then I'm going to ask you what the idiom means, okay? But I want you to listen to the story so you can kind of tell by the context clues. Have you talked about those at school?
A little bit, not
Little
that
bit.
much.
Alright. Well, then you'll be a pro when you do, right? Alright. So this one is, John was super busy. He was talking on the phone while he stirred soup that was cooking on the stove and starting to burn. His son Billy walked up to him and said, "Dad, I need help with my homework." John replied with, "Hang on." What did John mean when he said, "Hang on"?
Wait for a second.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Alright, see, you're a pro at this already. And then what did we show a picture of for the first one? Hang on. So we saw someone hanging on the bar, right? So this picture's kind of silly when you think about what it really means, isn't it? right, so let's move to the next one. All right, so this one, the children walked into the classroom and found their teacher, Miss Donna, waiting for them. All of the chairs were arranged in a circle around Miss Donna. As they approached the circle of chairs, Miss Donna said, "Have a seat," and waved her hand toward the chairs. So what did Miss Donna mean when she said, "Have a seat"?
Like sit down?
Yep. Does your teacher say that sometimes?
Yeah.
My teachers do too. All right. Oh wait, I forgot to go back to this one. So, oh, this was one we didn't draw because it was too hard, right? All right. So here's this one. Mrs. Batson was clearly having a rough day. The children in her class were running around the classroom and screaming. There were toys and art supplies everywhere. 3 children were pulling on her clothes and singing as loudly as they could. Mrs. Batson looked at the children and said, "You're driving me up the wall." So what does that mean?
The kids were driving her crazy?
Mm-hmm, they were. All right, and then, yep, that's the picture. So when you look at the picture of the car driving up the wall, that looks pretty silly when you think about what she really meant, right? Are you starting to kind of see what I mean when I say they have 2 different meanings? All right, so now we're on to the next one. Yeah, I think we're done with that one. Yep, good job. Okay, so James was a very helpful child. He loved helping his mother, and she really needed his help today. It was his brother's birthday, so all of their family would be coming to the house in 2 hours. James helped his mother by cleaning up the playroom, sweeping the kitchen, cleaning the bathrooms, and organizing the bookshelves. James's mother told him how much she appreciated that he bent over backwards to help her get ready. So what do you think that James' mom meant when she said she appreciated James bending over backwards to help her get ready?
Like helping her, maybe?
Mm-hmm. So he was helping her, but, sorry, I'm trying to think of how to say it to you. So he was helping her, so yes, basically, that's what she means when she said he bent over backwards, but it's because he was helping her a lot. So it wasn't that he just helped her with one thing, but he bent over backwards and did a whole lot of things to help her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So then where's your picture of that? So he wasn't really doing back bends, right? Okay. He was just doing all sorts of extra tasks to help his mom out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's our next one. All right, so when Cody walked into his house, he immediately knew that something fishy was going on. All of the lights in the house were off, even though he knew his mom and brothers were home. The house was also incredibly quiet, which was rare since his youngest brother was usually very loud. He could also smell birthday cake. Suddenly, all of his friends and family jumped out from behind the couch and yelled, "Surprise!" So what do you think that he meant when he said he knew that something fishy was going on?
Something strange?
Strange, very good. That is a perfect word for that. All right, so where's your fishy? Fishy. So fish aren't usually strange, are they? It's just a different meaning, right? Ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one, Jacob was in the school talent show. He practiced for weeks to perfect his juggling. When the big day came, he got up on stage and juggled 3 flaming sticks and didn't even miss a single one. Everyone cheered when he finished. When he walked off stage, his dad said, "Wow, you really knocked my socks off." So what do you think his dad meant when he said that? I can take that for you and hang it up. Thank you.
It made him happy, or it made him laugh.
Not necessarily. Let me read one little part to you again. You might have been distracted taking off your coat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was practicing for this talent show, and when the big day came, he got up on stage and juggled 3 flaming sticks and didn't even miss a single one. Everyone cheered when he finished. When he walked off stage, his dad said, "Wow, you really knocked my socks off."
It might mean that I don't really know.
You don't know? That's okay. I'll help you out with it. So when he said that, he was juggling, so it wasn't really funny, right? It was just pretty impressive. So maybe he thought he really did a good job. So that's what that means. So you could replace "knocked my socks off" with his dad said, "Wow, you really did a nice job." Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Which is a lot different than, the picture of the person without socks, right? All right. Okay. Here's our next one. All right, so Molly ran into the house and told her mother that she had just seen a huge beanstalk growing from their garden. She told her mother that the beanstalk was so tall that it reached to the sky and that Molly, had climbed that beanstalk and met a giant. Molly's mother looked at her skeptically and said, "You're pulling my leg."
Means she's like joking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly right. I read that one kind of tricky because I couldn't see it very well. So good job figuring that out. And then where's the picture of the person pulling their leg? Yeah, that's not what she meant, right? Her mom didn't start yanking on her leg, did she? That would be silly.
It's only one in blue on this page, so it's easy to find.
Yeah, it was easy to find, wasn't it? Well, for you did a good job. All right, so the kids at the pool were running around and splashing each other with water. They were shooting each other with water guns and jumping from the side of the pool to do cannonballs. Then their swim teacher showed up and told them to quit horsing around. It was time to work. So what did she mean by that?
To stop messing around.
Mm-hmm. So where's your picture of that? Oh, the horse running around. So that's pretty different, don't you think?
Yep.
Have you heard some of these before?
Yeah.
A lot?
Mm-mm.
No? They're kind of fun though, aren't they? Because they have 2 different meanings, so you just have to kind of figure out what people are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's our next one. Julie was planning a surprise party for Tom. Julie was careful not to tell Tom anything that may let him know that they were planning a big surprise. But the morning before the party was planned, Tom walked in and said, "Hey, are you planning a surprise party for me?" Julie frowned and said, "Who let the cat out of the bag?"
It might mean like somebody told him something that he wasn't supposed to know.
Yep, that's exactly like someone told him a secret, right?
Mhm.
Yep, that's exactly what that means. Have you heard that one before?
Mm-mm.
All right, and where's your picture of that? So a cat outside of a bag is a little different than telling a secret, right?
A lot different.
A lot different, you're right. Okay. We're about halfway done. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Alright, so this one. The Sanderson family was going on vacation to Disney World. Papa Sanderson wanted to plan out everything that the family would do. He wanted a schedule of exactly what time they would get up, eat breakfast, and go get to the park. You okay? Need a drink? All right. You sure?
Yeah.
All right. You sure you're all right? Do you want me to start over on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he wanted a schedule of exactly what time they would get up, eat breakfast, and get to the park. Then he wanted to put the rides in the order that they would ride them. However, everyone else in the family wanted to take things a little easier. Mama Sanderson said, "Why don't we just play it by ear?"
It means like, why can't they just do it without a schedule, maybe?
Yes! Oh my gosh, that was good, Char. That one was a tough one. Alright. Sorry, I'm just finding it on here. Okay. Our next one. Oh wait, where do we have the ear? Playing by the ears. Yeah.
Someone holding a ball by the ear.
Yeah, and that's different than doing something without a schedule, right? Okay. So Larry walked up to a game at the carnival. He watched another child play the game. The child grabbed a big hammer and swung it and hit the metal circle as hard as he could. When he did, a metal piece flew up so high that it hit a bell at the top of the game. The carnival worker saw Larry looking at it and handed him the hammer. "Give it a shot," he said.
Give it a try.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. That's exactly right. So, where's our picture of giving a shot? Ooh. So, trying something else a lot different than getting a shot from a doctor, right? All right. Okay, so this one. Gibson handed out the test to the children. Lucy was very worried that she wouldn't know the answers. However, she was happy to find that she knew every answer and finished the test quickly. When she handed back her test, she said, "That was a piece of cake."
It means it was easy.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Have you ever done that with a test?
Mm-hmm.
Just so easy, you just rush right through it and we're done?
Yeah, like my bar graph test we had Friday.
Oh, that's good. I haven't done that in a long time. My test must be too hard. Okay, so Rebecca's mom picked her up from school on Tuesday. They were headed to the Girl Scout meeting. Rebecca asked her mom, "Did you remember to bring my Girl Scout uniform?" Rebecca's mom said, "Oh no, it totally slipped my mind."
It means she forgot to grab it, maybe.
Yep. That is correct. Are you sure you haven't heard these before? Because you're doing really well.
It's from the story.
I know, the story's really helpful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Round was playing baseball inside his mom's house. His friend threw him the ball and he hit it with his bat. The ball went flying across the room and broke his mother's favorite lamp. "You're in hot water now," his friend said.
He's in trouble?
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. So where's the picture of someone in hot water? That's on, oh, yeah. Yeah, so he's not really sitting in hot water, is he?
Mm-mm.
Unless, of course, that would be his punishment, and that's not good, right? Okay, so this one. Barry was in line for the biggest, fastest ride at the amusement park. It was his first roller coaster ever, and he was super excited to go on it. However, when he got to the front of the line, he saw the roller coaster soar over the edge of the drop and fly downward toward the ground. He started to get nervous. When his friends asked him what was wrong, Barry said, "I'm having second thoughts about doing this." So what do you think he meant by "I'm having second thoughts"?
It means he's thinking again about if he wants to do it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like maybe thinking he doesn't want to do it, right?
Hot dog.
It's a funny picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, and where was our picture of second thoughts? So two people thinking, that's a little different than this person having a first thought and then a next thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now it's the last one on that page. Because there's always in bold on there.
Okay, so a group of kids were talking about the Star Wars movie they had watched last night. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay, let me start over. A group of kids were talking about the Star Wars movie they had watched last night. They were all talking about their favorite scenes and their favorite characters. Then Billy walked up and said, "I like hot dogs." One of the other kids said, "Well, that was out of the blue." What did he mean by that?
Out of the category?
Yeah. Yeah, or kind of random, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then where's the picture of out of the blue? So out of the blue water. That's quite different than what he meant by that, right? Okay. And then here we have Johnny had a problem and needed someone to talk to. He went up to his teacher, Mr. Cool. Johnny said, "Mr. Cool, I have a problem and I need some help." Mr. Cool immediately put down what he was doing, turned his body toward Johnny, and said, "I'm all ears."
He's listening with both his ears?
Mm-hmm. And where's your picture of that? Not just a bunch of ears hanging out. All right. Here we have a story about Billy. So Billy was disappointed with his grade on the math test. He got an F. What bothered him the most, though, was that his teacher was making him stay after school to work on it. Billy told his friend Eric why he was so upset, and Eric said, "Don't worry, man, I'm in the same boat. I have to stay after too."
It means they both have the same problem.
Yes. So same boat, same problem, right?
Yeah.
All right. And where's the picture? And they're not riding in a boat, right? No boats even in that story, right? Okay. Jamie really wanted to go to the park, but his sister really wanted to go to the pool. Jamie's mother told them that they would have to agree on one place to go because she wasn't going to drive them to two different places. "But Mom," Jamie said, "we just don't see eye to eye on where we want to go." So what
They don't have the same idea?
Mm-hmm. Like they don't agree. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's our picture of that? Our angry eyes?
Angry eyes.
Okay, and this is our last one. Okay, so June had been working on math problems for what seemed like hours. Her eyes were hurting, her hand was cramping, and she didn't think her brain could calculate one more equation. Finally, she looked at her mom and said, "Can we just call it a day?"
Like, can she just stop for the day?
Yep, or be done. Stop, finish. All right. So, do you kind of see now how...
Yeah.
So let's go over this again one more time. So here, we have an idiom, a word or group of words that have a different meaning. So let's go back to our very first example. It's raining cats and dogs. So can you tell me both of the meanings of that?
It's raining really hard, and it's like there's cats and dogs falling from the sky.
Yep, that's exactly right. You did a good job, and we are all done. So thanks for being cooperative.
Okay.